Relax. Right now, it's your man Miguel, and we're checking in with 16 Bars TV. Keep it locked, man. We got a lot coming up. Yep. This isn't my first time in Germany, but it is my first time in a larger city and spending a little bit more time. We got here yesterday, which was like a travel day, and last night I kind of got to step out and kind of explore a bit near like the city center and do a little bit of like just kind of sightseeing. What is that big building called with the... Yeah, it's like a cathedral. It's beautiful, but I went and took a few pictures. I posted one on my Instagram, which was pretty cool. Yeah, so it was really nice, man. It was cold, but it was nice. Man, Adorn has been, watching that song kind of grow has just been an incredible experience. I don't really recall writing the entire song. It just kind of wrote itself. And I remember laying the chords and all the music, the 808s and, the snare and so on and so forth. But after the first line, it's almost like the rest of it is blank. I don't remember. And, sitting in my car and listening to it over and over again 2 hours later, just to kind of figure it out, like what was special about it or why I just felt so, strongly that it was a special song. I couldn't figure out, and I thought to myself, man, how crazy would it be to hear this on the radio? And, at the time I was like, nah, I'm gonna just put it out on this free EP, like this series of free EPs that I'm gonna put out. And, a year later, here we are, like you said, Grammy nominated for the song, which I've never been, as an artist. And, it's been like my biggest song to date commercially, so on and so forth. It's really cool, man, to create something that so many people, make their own and becomes a part of their life. It's a blessing, man. I appreciate it. Growing up, Grammys is like the ultimate for a musician, from the States. It's like the ultimate honor that you can be considered for. And I remember, every year just being excited to watch the Grammys and who's going to perform and who's going to win. And being in this place now where we're nominated is just, for lack of a better term, a dream come true. It's you hope for that as a musician. It doesn't mean everything in the sense of, the hierarchy of what my career and what my intent on being a musician is. It's not, all I'm here for, but it's certainly much appreciated. And man, it's kind of unreal at this point. Yeah, I look forward to the ceremonies, and for all the nominees. It's going to be cool to see everybody there and celebrate regardless if I win or not, It's really interesting because on the one hand, between, The Weeknd and Frank Ocean and Jesse Boykins and, Janelle Monáe or Jhené Aiko or Daily from the UK or I could go on, and myself. None of us sound alike, but what we do share in common, I think, is this need to express ourselves uniquely, but still be true to who we are and what we love. And I think what we share in common is the love of soul music. You know what I mean? I think more than anything, what we're discovering now is that R&B has subgenres. You know what I'm saying? The same way that rock has subgenres, or even hip hop has subgenres. You know what I'm saying? And that's okay. So I don't necessarily mind. I think though people should embrace the idea that R&B has subgenres because none of us sound alike. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. That's good. That's good. That's what it should be. Just like most artists, my career started well before anyone saw me on television or heard my song on the radio. I started when I was 14, and I signed to like a production company, and it took about 10 or 11 years before releasing All I Want Is You, my first single. And that time period, I did a lot of learning how business works, how the industry works, and so on and so forth. And, I had my ups and downs, my challenges just like the next, artist. And even releasing my first album, my debut album, All I Want Is You, that was a struggle too. And we worked that album for a good year and a half, 2 years, and I'm very proud of that album. I still think it's overlooked, but I think as people discover it, after they discover, Kaleidoscope Dream, they're going to enjoy it just as much, But yeah, man, I think more than anything, in those ups and downs and the struggles and opposition or anything holding us back from getting out, as an artist, being released. As depressing as it was at some points, this is all I've ever wanted to do. I've never doubted I was gonna do it. It was just more of a matter of time as opposed to anything else. So I'm really excited that I'm here now, man. That's why being here, I don't take it for granted. I'm just appreciative. Like, I get to make music and play. You know what I'm saying? Like, and have an audience is just it's a blessing. To get so much love from my fans, that's almost like family. You know what I mean? It's like they're gonna love me because they love me, and I need that, and I appreciate that. And from critics, it's really cool because they're paying attention now, and I appreciate that, especially the ones that actually know music. You know what I mean? Because there's a few critics that I actually respect, and I keep up with what they write about, and I appreciate that too. But I think more than anything, regardless of what you do, whether you do music or you're a business student, or so on and so forth, whatever. I think the most important thing is only doing things that you're proud of. Working, you know what I'm saying? Is like, if no one loved my music, I'm very proud of this album regardless, personally. So I try and keep a balanced perspective, when it's like critical acclaim or it's, people not liking it, whatever. As long as I'm proud of it, I think that's the most important thing. And that goes for everyone, whatever you do, you should be proud of what you're doing. Don't do it unless you're proud of it. Man, Alicia Keys is just one of those, lights. She's just a light, Anyone who's ever met Alicia will tell you she's just very special and has an amazing aura and energy about her. And upon meeting her in Jamaica for the first time, I met her for the first time in Jamaica, which was an unbelievable experience. Hands down, my favorite music experience thus far. And we were there to hopefully contribute to her album. And Where's the Fun in Forever is a song we wrote in Jamaica, and unfortunately it didn't make her album. But fortunately, on the other hand, I was so in love with the song, and it was kind of like a personal thing. I was like hoping she would let me use it, instead, and she was really gracious, to let us use it and keep her vocals on it and all that. And a lot of that's like original takes from like this little room we were in, like clapping together and singing together. It's really cool, man. Definitely a great experience. And I look at her as like, family, music family. I definitely have hit her and asked her for advice before, and she's been incredibly just like balanced, in her perspective, and giving me sound and solid advice, and I appreciate that. So I'm looking forward to going on this tour. It's gonna be really special. mean, Illmatic, classic. You know what I mean? Bad Boys era, '96, classic. You know what I mean? I've always listened to hip hop. Upon finding like my closest friends, even to this day, I was being educated in like real hip hop, like Tribe Called Quest, Slum Village, Dilla. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of like led me to a whole like underground appreciation for hip hop and for music culture. You know what I mean? You know, Aloe Black and Eminem, Blue, who's a good friend of mine, who ended up doing his entire album with Exile. You know, like that whole, all of that. You know, being a part of that album. I don't know, man. I've always, hip hop is like a part of me, you know, and I feel a part of it, you know, absolutely. So it's just really cool to have the opportunity to collaborate with, you know, musicians that I've listened to growing up with. You know, it's kind of, sometimes it's kind of crazy, but it's a very cool feeling, man. Very cool that they would welcome me, you know, to be a part of their creative representation and projection. I appreciate it. Three Stacks, definitely one of my favorite MCs, hands down. Who else, man? I mean, Big is always gonna be number one, you know. Kanye is still killing, just killing, like like just years upon years. It's like you almost wonder when it's gonna, like, are you up? Nah, he just keeps going. But then there's a lot of MCs that are like underground that a lot of people don't know about that are like my favorite and huge influences. MF Doom. MF Doom is just incredible and like entertaining. You know what I mean? MF Doom is probably one of the most entertaining MCs to listen to. Poetic MCs, I think Blues is always gonna kind of take the cake for me. You know what I'm saying? As far as like, he'll just always be up there with like being a real poet, like artist. You know what I'm saying? It's just the level and depth of which he just is able to, you know, speak. It's crazy. Creating Kaleidoscope Dream, I definitely was, you know, trying to come up with a sonic that would translate well in a live setting. I'd been on the road and just doing radio shows with like Big Sean and 2 Chainz and, you know, loads of MCs who would come out and the bass would just like, the 808 would just, we would come out there and like, it would be cool because we had a band, you know, it was dope. But they would come out and that bass would come on and people would just go crazy. And I was like, man, I can't do this next time. Like, I want to have my band, but I want it to knock. Like, I want everything to knock. Because I love music that makes me, you know, that you feel it. And I love bass, just like the next person does. So, this time around, it was definitely like a conscious decision and deliberate decision to make this album have lots of live elements, but then also have like a lot of bottom end. That's why Adorn sounds the way that it does. You know what I'm saying? And The Thrill, or just any of the songs, most of them have like a lot of low end. So it's definitely where I'm creating from, man. Man, definitely working. I actually brought equipment on the road with me for this trip. So while we're in Europe, we're making music, man. You know, we're performing, but we're also making music. So I'm excited to put some of it out in the near future. And yeah, man, lots of great music coming. Yeah. Come see us live. Come see us live. You won't regret it. It's unforgettable. Trust me. You just tuned in to, you know, Miguel right here on 16 Bars. Hopefully you enjoyed the interview, found out a little bit more about me and whatnot, and are more interested in coming to see us live, man. If you haven't got the album, Kaleidoscope Dream is in stores right now. It's on iTunes or wherever you buy your music. Get it. You will not be disappointed. It's definitely on some ill shit, man. Trust me. You can trust me. Don't I look trustworthy? Anyways, hopefully we see you soon. Hit me up on Twitter or Instagram, Miguel Unlimited, and officialmiguel.com. That's got all the tour dates and whatnot if you want to check us out. We'll see you in the near future. Don't be late. Bye. Miguel signing out.